everybody, Lord Tremendous here, got a battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle report number 21. 'Tis I, Lord Tremendous of the Ogre Khans versus Demonic Orchid, yet again, of the Orcs and Goblins. This is just a re-rack. He doctored his list a little bit, and we went right back to it. However, thanks to a very astute viewer, it was pointed out to me that in the last battle report, Demonic Orchid only was playing with 2,000 points, which explains a lot. In this battle, he is also only playing with 2,000 points. I am playing with 2,500, so this is definitely a skewed game. However, it is still kind of good, so I decided to do the battle report anyway. So, yeah. No spoilers or nothing, but I think you all can guess what happens. And I didn't get his list or anything like that, so it's going to be more the same. Either way, should be enjoyable, and if not, well, you know what? I'll do another one, so we'll get there. We'll get there. Here's my list, and there's been absolutely no change from the last one. I still have my Lord, my Great Shaman, Kaka Shabadu. He's a level 3 wizard with Screaming Swords, the Demonic Heart, Talisman of Greater Shielding, and he uses the Path of Butchery because he's awesome. Next up, I have my hero choices, and I start off with my Khan. He's my BSB. He's got the Flesh Render, Mithril Mail, Talisman of Lesser Shielding, and Rotten Jaw. And then I have my Shaman, the Combustor. He's a level 2 wizard with the Skull Splitter, and he uses the Path of Fire. His job is to take out enemy chaff. Last but not least, I have my Mammoth Hunter, Lord Tremendous. He's got the Ogre Crossbow, the Heart Ripper, Yeti Furs, the Gem of Dragonfire. He's got the Troll Leader Big Name, and he's on his Tusker War Teddy. He's a badass. He truly is. Alright, for my core choices, I got a unit of 7 Tribesmen, the good old boys. They got Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, and Heavy Armor. I have a second unit of Tribesmen, the Inner Council. They've got Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, Heavy Armor, and the Banner of Discipline. And then I have my 4 Bruisers, the Dour Ones, or the Poop End of the Stick, whichever you want to call them. Pulling up my special choices here, I have my 5 Scrappling Trappers, or the Favored Pets. I've got my 6 Merc Vets, the Storm of Retribution. They have a Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, Lethal Strike, Thunderous Charge, and the Banner of Speed. I also have my 3 Tusker Cav with the Musician, Great Weapons, and Heavy Armor. Still testing these guys out. Don't know exactly how I feel about them yet, but so far, I mean, last game they had a good showing. And then, of course, I have my Kin Eater, Lady Elizabeth. You do not want to piss her off. And now my rare choice, my Frost Mammoth, Rufus! He's got a couple of Ogre Crossbows on the guys that he tows around, but he's really what's all important about this unit. So that's going to do it for my army list. Again, I did not get Demonic's army list. I wish I had looked at it. That way I would have been able to tell that he was 500 points short, but I didn't. Hindsight's 20/20, so let's get into the fight. Here are my spells, which are exactly what you're looking at. And here's deployment. I believe I go second on this one. I might go first. I don't remember. But bottom line is I kind of knew what I was going up against. I kind of realized the mistakes I had made by throwing stuff around the right flank wall there. And I have adapted. I ended up on the same side and everything. I think I chose sides this turn, so he got to deploy fully before I did. So I throw the Tusker Cav in the middle. The idea there is I want to see what they can do. I want to know if I like them or not. I got 3 of them with great weapons. Let's see what they can do. I got the Inner Council in the middle, backed up by Rufus. I've got the Tribesmen and my Merc Vets in the middle doing the strong core, and I got the Bruisers and Lord Tremendous going to make up the weak right flank, I guess. They're going to go in the inside of that building and maybe try to catch someone in the bottleneck between the forest and the impassable terrain. Maybe the Iron Orcs, maybe a Giant, maybe his General. I don't know, but that was the plan. Here's my opponent's right flank, and from left to right, he's got the common orcs with paired weapons and I believe a full command. He's got a bunch of feral orcs with full command and paired weapons right next to them. Here's his center, from left to right. That's one of those wrecking crew guys. I don't know. It's one of the big psychopath things, basically a huge mad git, and they're dangerous as hell. I call them massive boogers, but whatever you want to call them. Then he's got a giant, then he's got his orc general in a chariot, and then he's got another giant. And here's my opponent's left flank, which consists of his iron orcs and another big boogery guy, basically a large mad git. Here's my right flank, which consists from right to left of Lord Tremendous and my dour ones, or my bruisers. And here's my center. From left to right, I got my proxy Tusker Cav. I've got the Combustor on the hill. I've got my tribesmen in front of me with my BSB. And right next to them, I have my mercenary vets. And on my left flank, I've got my inner council with my great shaman, and I got Rufus. Here's top of one after movement, and he comes forward. Kind of aggressive. One giant kind of falls back a little bit, but he got stuck behind the boogery guy. Both, I mean, just everything comes forward. It's almost like 500 points are missing, so that it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, yeah, he comes shooting forward, and that's about it. He's got no magic because he didn't add a wizard, and he's got no shooting because he took his bolt throwers out. So, I mean, what you see is what you get. So like I said, there was nothing else going on in his turn, so we went over to bottom of one after movement, and I was cautious. As much as I, enjoy close combat, I don't enjoy getting killed, so I kind of came up cautious. My inner council moved up to the edge of the forest, because I figured if he charged me at the very least, he wasn't going to be steadfast. But then again, he might not lose combat either, so it was kind of a gamble. And everything moves up just a couple of inches with the exception of my trappers in the top right there. They came down as fast as they could, 8 inches, just to start trying to shoot at the big blue booger up there. Rufus reforms just a little bit, or postures himself so that he can shoot at the giants or the stuff. I know I'm shooting through the forest, but that's what pot shots are for, right? And really that's it. I'm going to rely on shooting this turn to force him to keep coming to me. Nothing happens during the magic phase at all. But during the shooting phase, I believe Rufus, shooting at the big purple bastard, was able to slip a wound through on him. Like I said, those little pot shots are a beautiful thing. So with nothing else going on over there, we go over here to top of 2 after movement, and he charges. I believe he tried to charge my inner council with both of his bricks of orcs on the left flank there, and failed. His giant and his general on a chariot charged my tribesmen with my BSB, and his general made it. His giant fell short by about an inch. His iron orcs, I don't think they charged. I don't remember, to be perfectly honest. But no, they did. They tried to charge my Merc Vets and failed. He declared his WOG for the extra movement and everything and still failed. And so they ended up in the forest. His purple booger didn't make it very far, but the blue booger, as you can see, blew through my damn dour ones. Those poor bastards. That's why they're dour. Other than that, that was it for movement. There's a better picture of his orcs failing to charge into my inner council, and that would have been bad if they had both made it. And there's a better picture of his general in the chariot charging into my tribesmen and making it. However, there's also a picture of his giant failing, so win-lose. And there's a better picture of the blue booger going through the bruisers and killing 2 2/3. That guy did 8 wounds just by jumping through those guys. Those things are dangerous. I did not give them enough respect. And then we go into combat, and speaking of killing 2 2/3, he kills 3 tribesmen. Just flat out kills 3 of them. I was like, holy crap! Neither of us issued a challenge, so I attack back. My BSB stays the hell away from him, and we're able to slip 2 wounds through on him. The only reason I stay is because I'm steadfast, because as far as I know, a chariot doesn't have a rank. So he slams into me, he does 9 wounds, so he's got 10 combat res to my 4, 2 wounds, 2 banners. I would have lost by 6 if it wasn't for steadfast, so that was huge, but holy crap, imagine if the giant had made it in, or if anything else had made it in. Oh man. So we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement, and I have to take the gloves off because he's beating the crap out of me. My interconsole charge the Orc Boys and make it. My Tusker Cav charge the Savage Orcs, or I'm sorry, the Feral Orcs, and they make it, although they do take a wound of dangerous terrain for going through the forest. My Merc Vets charge into the Iron Orcs, and they take 2 wounds from dangerous terrain because I just can't win. And my Bruisers move up a little bit. They were just trying to get an angle on the Giants. I figured they were going to go into my Tribesmen or something like that. And Tremendous gets the hell away from the blue booger guy because I don't want him to run into Tremendous and do like 9 wounds to him. That would suck. And he's going to run up and try to help out against the Iron Orcs next turn. My Shaman, the Combustor, gets the hell off the hill in case the blue booger decides to come after him. And he runs over to where he can shoot at the purple booger. And Rufus, I think Rufus tried to charge the Orc Boys as well, the regular Orcs on the left flank there, and failed. So that was pretty much it for movement. And Elizabeth does not come on the table yet because she's lazy? I don't know. There's a better picture of my Inner Council making their charge and my Tusker Cav making their charge, so that'll be fun. And there's a better picture of Rufus failing his charge, which was not fun. And of course the Storm of Retribution slamming into the Iron Orcs. Very pleased about this. During the magic phase, I get a big fireball off on the purple bastard, and I'm able to take him out, so that's awesome, especially after seeing what the blue one did. And then we go into combat, and this combat over here with the Merc Vets versus the Iron Orcs was pretty good, actually. The Mercenary Vets ended up doing like 13 to 15 wounds, which was insane. However, they ended up taking 6 wounds in return. I win this combat by a lot. I don't believe he's steadfast, and he breaks, but he gets away by literally 1 inch. I pursued 1 inch short of catching him, which sucks. But I am out of charge range of out of the charge arcs of the Giants, so that's a good thing. At least I don't have to deal with one of those guys in my flank. And the Iron Orcs did turn and flee, so that's cool. I'm working on that. And then, yeah, I took dangerous terrain test, pursuing through the forest. I don't know, I got confused. Just a momentary brain fart, I guess. I thought Monsters Infantry had to take dangerous terrain through the forest. I'm wrong, but I don't realize that until well after the game. And I lose a guy because of my own incompetence. Then over here in this combat, my Khan ends up in a combat with his general, or in a challenge, I'm sorry, with his general. I take 2 wounds, mostly due to my opponent's terrible rolling, and I'm only able to get 1 through on him because he does have a ward save, so there is that. And over here, things go pretty left field. My Tusker Cav slam into these Feral Orcs and get their faces caved in. 2 of them just get destroyed. I think my last guy is able to do a little bit of damage, but it's not enough. I lose this combat. And I break and I run. But I run like 11 inches, so that's something. And the Feral Orcs aren't able to catch me, but it's his turn next, and we all know what's about to happen. Then over here, my Inner Council beats the crap out of common Orcs. I lose 1 in return. I win this combat. He's steadfast, and he sticks it out. So with that all said and done, we go over here to top of 3 after movement, and there's a bunch. A whole bunch, really. His Feral Orcs charge my fleeing Tusker Cav, who continues to flee. He bounces through my Combustor, who also fails his panic check and flees off the table. So 2 for 1 there. Good on my opponent. And then he redirects into my Tribesman with my BSB and makes that charge. So 3 for 1, really. Also, both of his Giants charge into my Tribesman with my BSB and make it. So 5 for 1, or 5 for 3, or however that math might work. Then his blue booger, who's now rolling randomly to determine which way to go, goes straight through my bruisers and kills them. Just upends them, no problem. It was heart-wrenching. His Iron Orcs rally, and everything else he has is dead or in combat. So, hell of a movement phase for my opponent. There's a better picture of the nightmare that this combat has become. There's a better picture of my Combustor failing his panic check when the Tusker Cav fled through him and ran off the table, so that's awesome. And here's a better picture of my bruisers getting just wiped off the table by the big blue booger. And there's a better picture of his Iron Orcs rallying. Good for him. There is no magic, no shooting, so we go straight into combat, and it does not go terrible for me. His general and my BSB, his general flubs pretty spectacularly. He does 2 wounds, one of which I'm able to 6-up ward save, if you can believe it. So he's got 3 out of 4 wounds on him. I counterattack and kill his orc general, and then he's able to do some wounds to the unit. I'm able to do a little bit back to his, not much. We end up, I think no, he won this combat, but through like just blind stupid luck, I think I ended up winning by, or he ended up winning by like 1 or 2, and thanks to the BSB still being alive, I was able to make my brave check and stick. I don't really have anything that's able to support them just yet, but at least they're not dead already. That's something. Over here in combat, my inner council is able to beat down more of the orc boys. They are no longer steadfast. I win this combat. They break, but they get away. Not a huge big deal, really, because it's my turn next, and I'm going to be able to go after them. And I know the picture looks weird, the angle and everything. That's not the angles they were at. It's just I slipped a little when I was on his tray. Or my unit, anyway, slipped when I was on his tray. So we're both facing towards the board edge. It'll all get straightened out in a second. So, as promised, here's bottom of 3 after movement, and in the top left you can see my inner console has chased off the orc boys. I didn't catch them, but they did go off the table, so that works. In the top center there, you can see my Merc Vets have slammed into the Iron Orcs because it was so much fun the first time, why not do it again? My Trappers move up to give the Blue Booger a couple of shots in the head with hopefully some rotten apples that hit their mark. And Lord Tremendous has charged through the forest, making it into the side of the Feral Orcs because I couldn't see the Giants. His angle was wrong. But I could see the Feral Orcs, so I charged into their flank just to get into this combat, and because they need help. And I maneuvered Rufus so that if they could survive a couple of turns, they would be able to, or Rufus would be able to charge in there and hopefully bail them out. We'll see, though. That seems like a pretty tall order. And Elizabeth came on the table, and she came in my board edge, moved up 6 inches, and is just trying to figure out what the hell is going on. That's pretty much it. There's a better picture of my inner council running off the orcs. And there's a better picture of Lord Tremendous jumping into the fight, because this is where he belongs. And there's a better picture of the mercenary vets trying to finish off the Iron Orcs. During the magic phase, I was able to get Blizzard off on the Feral Orcs in a blind attempt on trying to survive this combat. And during the shooting phase, the Trappers are able to slip a wound through on the big blue booger, which I'm very pleased with. In combat, my Merc Vets, even with 15 attacks, they do a beautiful job and just destroy the Iron Orcs, which I'm very happy with. And then in combat over here, it's brutal. My BSB gets killed, another tribesman gets killed, a lot of Feral Orcs get killed. The Giants are pretty much unharmed. And I lose this combat. Oh, I lose it bad, but I do stick, barely. But both units stick, thank the Lord. And the only thing that changes is Giant, the one on our right there that's turned to face Lord Tremendous now. He was out of combat. There was no way to get him back into combat, so he got to reform. So he reformed to face Lord Tremendous, because guess where he's going in a second? Yeah, he's going into top of 4 after movement, where his Giant's going to charge the flank of Lord Tremendous. No problem. His little blue booger ends up going way off to the right flank there, and that's fine. He can be stuck over there for a while. I don't mind. And, well, everything else he has is deader in combat. There's a better picture of his Giant charging into Tremendous's flank, making this combat one big happy massacre now. We go straight into combat, and it's actually pretty brutal. Both tribesmen die horribly. I can't in good conscience tell you exactly what they did to them, but let's just say that a Giant is very pleased. The Feral Orcs finished off one. I wasn't able to do a whole lot of damage to anything. The best thing that happened was Lord Tremendous was able to put 4 wounds through on that one Giant. However, it was not enough. I lose combat by, I think, 4 or 5. It was a lot. and I break, and I get run down. The giant on the right was able to run me down. The giant on the left restrained and just reformed, and the feral orcs, being frenzied and not losing a combat yet, pursued but had to stop an inch away from the giant. So that's the way they ended up. Lord Tremendous is dead, and so is my heart. We go in the bottom of 4 after movement, and I charge Lady Elizabeth into the giant with 4 wounds on it, because I figure she can take him out. I charge with my Merc Vets into the other giant, and I fail, and then I charge with Rufus into the rear of the feral orcs, because what other option do I have? I need to take these guys out. Meanwhile, my inner council in the top left, they come forward, they do a swift reform and come forward 6 inches. The trappers continue pursuing the blue booger to try to kill it, and that's pretty much it for movement. Here's a better picture of Elizabeth slamming into this giant. Hopefully she can finish what Tremendous started. There's a better picture of my Merc Vets failing to charge into the giant, and there's Rufus slamming into the rear of these guys, because they's got to die. During the magic phase, Rufus gets all prepped up and hits the feral orcs with Blizzard. So that's going to help a lot, hopefully. Maybe if I can make them lose Frenzy, they'll actually have to start taking fear checks at -1 leadership, -2 leadership, so that'd be nice. Then we go into combat, and Rufus is able to destroy all but 12 of these guys. I think he ends up killing 7 or 8 all by himself, which is good. He takes 4 wounds in return, but with charge, rear, super rear, 7 wounds to 4 wounds, rank, banner, I win combat. They're steadfast, they stick it out, but I like where this is going. And he fails his leadership check to turn and face, and he doesn't have a BSB. Rufus is kicking ass. Then over here, Elizabeth is able to just put 1 wound on the giant. The giant's not able to do anything back to her. I think he did the initiative test one, and she actually passed. So charge, flank, wound to nothing. He's stubborn, and he makes his test. So we're still there. He does not turn to face, and I can't remember if it was because of a failed leadership or if he just completely forgot to take the test outright. I can't recall. So we go over here to top of 5 after movement, and his other giant charges into Elizabeth. I know it looks like she got him in the rear. No, it's just she wouldn't line up any other way. So they're both there. The blue guy ends up going towards that impassable terrain and just kind of bounces off. I know he's probably supposed to take a dangerous terrain or a wound of some sort. Completely forgot. So that's why he's still fine. But that's it for movement. There's a better picture of both giants on Elizabeth, and that's really, really bad. So now we go into combat, and Rufus pummels this unit. He takes out all but 6. He kills half the unit, takes no damage in return. I think they even failed a fear check, to be perfectly honest, because I lost last combat, so they're no longer immune to psychology due to Frenzy, because I lost Frenzy. So I win this combat, they break, Rufus pursues, catches them, and slams into the giant that was threatening Elizabeth, okay? Are we all clear? Because this is friggin' awesome. We go into combat, and Rufus is able to destroy the giant. Impact hits, the rider's attacks, and Rufus himself kills the giant before it can attack me, because remember, it's at -3 initiative. Elizabeth is able to put the last wound on the other giant that she's in close combat with and win me the game. So, yeah, in the end, Rufus came through like a champion, finishing off the feral orcs, the giant, saving Elizabeth's life, and making it so that she could destroy the other giant. Wow, I love that guy. And there it is. There's the end of the game. I'm leaving the music playing because Rufus deserves all the glory. And I'm well aware that my opponent was 500 points shy. I'm well aware of the amazing fight that he put up, being 500 points shy. But this was a tremendous ending, even so, and I'm very pleased with Rufus. But you know what? We'll get to the recap in a second, because right now Captain Picard has something to say.
Make it so.
So in the end, it was a victory for Lord Tremendous. I tabled my opponent turn 5. I know he was 500 points shy. I ended up losing my Khan, the Combustor, Lord Tremendous, the Good Old Boys, my Bruisers, and my Tusker Cavalry. All of my opponent being 500 points less than me. Very, very well played by my opponent. This was a much closer game from my last one, with my first one with him. Just seeing how much he improved, still 500 points shy of me, was amazing. And great catch, Brian Butler. He was the one that caught it in the comment section in my last video. Excellent way to point that out. Appreciate that, man. Very well done. But I'm looking forward to see what this guy can do. My opponent can do with a 2,500 point list. He definitely would have beat me in this game, in my opinion, had he had 500 more points. Very impressed. I learned a few things in this game. My Tuskers got 8, which bummed me out a bit, but I learned not to charge them like I would the Merc Vets. That was a mistake. My inner council did amazing. I don't know if it's new models or if I'm just getting lucky, but I'm loving it. Merc Vets, as always, were just jaw-dropping. I mean, I was real happy with the way they took on the Orc Elites. Very happy about that. But of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Rufus. Unbelievable how good he did. In the end, with the rear charge into the Feral Orcs, finishing them off, finishing off a giant, saving Elizabeth, and then allowing Elizabeth the opportunity to slip the last wound through on the giant and kill it. Absolutely phenomenal. Oh man, I learned something about the orcs too. Feral orcs are incredibly dangerous. That has not changed. Just forgot. Orc magic weapon, the Orc-pocalypse or whatever, that is insane. Plus strength and attacks, holy crap. Double giants, of course, always hurts. I should have given them a lot more respect. And those little booger things, the Wrecker Gits or whatever they are, holy crap, I should have dumped way more magic and shots into them. I never should have let them get into my bruisers. I got lucky that I was able to kill the purple one as fast as I did, because if they had hit my tribesmen, this game would have been over long ago. So, yeah, next time I see those guys, they'll get a lot more attention. But this was an absolutely great game. As you saw, this was a great opponent. I mean, 500 points beneath me and still gave me a run for my money. I'm not sure if that says more about his skill than mine, but I'm pretty sure that means he's good. I don't get to play this guy nearly enough, and I'm really looking forward to our rematch, whenever that might be. Alright guys, real quick, Tabletop Miniature Solutions is having this big Indiegogo campaign where they're developing, creating, and making a whole bunch of Undying Dynasty models. Incredibly well sculpted, incredibly well made, and just incredible. And when was the last time you saw a full Tomb King, well, Undying Dynasty's Tomb King, whatever you play? If you're looking for undead models, this is the way to go. The link will be in my description. Go check it out. They've already way surpassed their goal by I think like 800 or 900% as of this battle report. So if you wanted to get into it, you're guaranteed victory. It's already surpassed its goal by hundreds of percents. So get in there, get in at whatever level you can afford, and get yourself some amazing models. You won't get a better opportunity than this. Just want to give a thank you to the people that have become my patrons on Patreon and stuff like that. Alex of the Fail Renegades, South Florida's Gamermancy team, and Daniel Jolson. Thank you guys very, very much. Your contributions, your donations are very much appreciated. And if you guys want to get your name on this list, got a message you want to throw out there, you know, Maggie, will you marry me? You know, South region's the best region, whatever you want to put, as long as it's not too inappropriate, I'm all for it. Just throw a little donation on there. I think it's $5, and I'll throw it on there for as long as you'd like. But yeah, guys, seriously, thank you very much. But that's going to do it for this battle report. Number 21 is officially in the history books. Guys, if you're not into this game by now, I don't know what's keeping you. Go to the9thage.com, get the rules, get the army books, all of it's for free, and enjoy the damn game like everyone else is. There's nothing stopping you but you. All the links that you need are in my description. Check them out. There's a ton of good ones. You're going to find something you like. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.